Hello, hello, you beautiful people. This is Storyalysis, and I am Chris.
And I am Pierre.
And brother, we are on episode 6 of Vinland Saga. I think we need a horse, Pierre. I think we need a horse.
I need a horse. That's on Thor number
Horse.
1 when he finally made it to Earth. It's like, I need a horse. Another.
I remember
The
that.
Marvel fans will know.
Hey,
Oh, wow.
listen, I'm not a Marvel fan, okay, but I do remember that scene. All right. It might have been in the trailer. But yeah, we need a horse, dude. We need a horse. So last episode we ended off with we got a little bit of a time skip for Canute, and that time skip carried over into Thorfinn and Einar. Dude, for this whole time I was looking at these two characters in the beginning in the opening, and I was like, all right, that looks like Einar. Who the fuck is this other guy? Because this does not look like Thorfinn. They kept emphasizing this character and how important he was, or at least I assume they were trying to show how important he was. And I was like, who is he? I thought he was in the beginning. I thought he was the Kettle, his son. I thought that was just him growing up, and I thought he was going to be a major character. Come to find out that this cool looking dude is Thorfinn. I love Thorfinn's time skip look
Development.
so much. He looks so fun, and I think he doesn't look
Yeah.
1-to-1 with how the dude is in the opening yet, right? I think he still looks a little younger than he does in the opening. I feel like there's going to be another small time skip, maybe in the next episode. I don't know, but he looks so cool. The goatee, dude. The the man bun. Oh my god,
Yeah.
bro! Thorfinn looks so cool, man. He doesn't look so scruffy. They always make him look really scruffy, like his hair is just, it looks like it's all over the place. But now it's like, oh, he looks so dope. I mean, and also his ear being chopped off. Uh, even when I saw that in the opening, I was like, okay, yeah, I know Thorfinn got his ear chopped off, but maybe somebody else gets their ear chopped off too. I didn't want to. I was just. He looks so different than Thorfinn. I didn't think that was him. But yeah. Anyway, I love Thorfinn's design. He looks amazing. He looks fantastic. This is my boy, dude. This is my boy. I love him so much. And time
We know,
skips.
Christian.
Yeah, time skips. They're always really momentous occasions in anime, especially in
Momentous. I like that word.
yeah the animes that I've seen it in. I'm gonna bring up One Piece again because it happens in One Piece.
At this point, yes. Just One Piece. It's all One Piece.
Naruto too. It happens in Naruto.
Oh,
Attack on Titan
I heard
happens
good
in
things.
yeah. Naruto's pretty good. Well, it's it's one of my, it's the first anime that I really grew up on. I think is Naruto. Yeah, before that was Dragon Ball Z, but back then I didn't
Another
really.
great one.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't really pay too much attention to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, uh, yeah. So time skips very momentous. It's a very big deal, and we still see that Einar, his rebellious spirit hasn't been broken. He's still, whenever he's confronted by the vassals, he still has like that uh, rebelliousness to him, which after at this point has been 2 years, I think. It's pretty. His spirit hasn't been diminished at all, which I think is very telling of his
Yeah.
character. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, in the beginning, they're just chopping down trees. They get stuck because the roots of one tree are so deeply embedded that the only way they can get it is with a horse. So they go
Yeah.
looking for how they can get a horse, and then they meet an old man, Sverkel, who overhears the conversation between Einar and Thorfinn saying that they need a horse. So,
Wait.
mhm,
So sorry. Before they see Sverkel, they ask the retainers, right? Um,
right,
when the retainers, they're like, "Hey, Pater told us to get that," and they're like, "Oh, the former slave." Like, oh, we don't like that's like that name doesn't hold weight. And also, just so you guys know, like our horses, they're busy. All the horses are there. And then some guy just show up and say, "Hey, I'm taking a horse," and they're like, "Sure." It's just like a slap in the face. Like, what do you mean you're busy? And some guy just came in and picked him up. And he's like, "You slaves are no different than livestock. Like, you're just running around. How about you use your bodies and do the freaking work?" And then yeah, your boy comes in. Yeah, but that was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, vassals, those are subordinates, right? Like subordinates of somebody higher than them? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
those are the retainers. Those are the guys. Those are the snakes guys. Are those snakes guys?
Yeah, I
Yeah, they say we need yeah, they say the no, he said the retainers didn't lend us a horse, they just made us do their work for them. Yeah, and then Einar was like, okay, I'm gonna go ask them. So yeah, that was the retainers. That's how the conversation started.
Oh,
They couldn't get the roots out, and the
it's not
it's not what
vassals? Is that do they use that word or am I getting mixed up?
they call them the retainers. Vassals, a vassal's a follower of a king. That's why oh,
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you remember Canute mentioned a lot like I'll make you my vassal, or
Right.
Askeladd is like I'll be your vassal.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why the word was stuck
Um.
in my head. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, these guys were retainers, and it's funny. The walk back before they saw Sverkel, he was like, we need a horse to cut the trees to start farming. And Thorfinn's like, you have a lot of energy for a guy who never eats a square meal.
Right? That also comes up later on. The fact that he never ate a
Mm,
square meal.
yeah, like why are you so unmotivated, man? Like we need a horse to start farming and buy our freedom back. Thorfinn's like, bro, you have a lot of
Wow.
energy, bro. We out here on small rations.
He really
We're out here
does.
like we're on Joel and Ellie rations. This is episode 3, beginning of episode 3 of The Last of Us. It will be the link will come up top if you're watching this on YouTube. It's just the beginning of the episode when
Look at this
he
guy.
tossed the freaking little bite.
Look at this
He
guy.
tossed the bite.
Shameless
Look at this
plugging.
guy.
Unbelievable.
Or this is I need to stop. Or this is episode 5 when they show us how Sam and Henry survive up there, small rations of can of soups or something, which the link to episode 5 will also be up there.
Promotion after promotion.
How does Pierre remember this? Because Pierre liked The Last of Us. If I like a show, Christian, I will remember every good detail,
Oh
and there was so
yeah.
many about this.
Oh yeah. Then
Yeah.
give me 3 puns from The Last of Us. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
Puns.
Go ahead.
Oh, Christian! What did something math class or algebra? What did the mermaid bring to her math class or algebra?
Okay, that's one.
What's the thing with diarrhea? It runs in your genes.
That's 2.
What's
One more.
oh, this actually hurts. What did the triangle say to the square? You have any holes? No, wait, what is it?
I
No,
think that's
What was the snap? What did the triangle say to the circle? You have no edges.
Oh.
Well, you have no.
Are you still there?
I am. Oh, what happened?
You disconnected right after you said circle and hole.
What did the triangle tell the circle? No, not that. I don't remember that. What did the earth? Oh,
This isn't
it
looking
was climax.
good.
Bro, why can I not remember the last thing?
Mm.
Okay. That was another pun. What did she tell Joel? The diarrhea part. Joel saw the diarrhea part. What is one that Joel is like that's stupid? This hurts, Christian. This hurts. Okay, it runs in your genes. That's one.
Mm.
Algebra. That's 2.
Mm.
And there's one about screenshots, but they're like, I don't understand what that is because they never had phones with screenshots or something. What is number 3, Christian? This is gonna bother me.
Maybe you just gotta stop while your head, Pierre. You know?
I'm not gonna stop on the head. Oh, what did the end of the world? Something about the end of the world. He's like,
Ooh, this is
I'll
getting
just,
nasty. It's getting
I'll
bad.
just die. What did he say about the end of the world? I'm gonna leave it like there's no tomorrow. Yes, something about live like there's no tomorrow because it was the end of the world. There's no tomorrow. One of the puns was that.
You know what? I'll give it to you, Pierre.
Of course, Christian, you have to give it to
This
me.
is painful. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You did a good job here. You did. That was a great job.
No shit.
To be honest, I only remember 2 puns. I didn't. So I barely remembered those 2. So
You fool! Put me in the spot out here. I'm out here sweating. You know I don't do well with confrontation.
Oh, if anyone listens to the Last of Us episodes, they will see that you did not hide your passion in the fucking slightest. You just
Dude, I'm a very passionate man. Just
But
it's
yeah,
ironic because I'm emotionless.
you love the Last of
But
Us.
yeah, Last of Us is great. Last of Us is very great. So some things will change, and we did mention that in. Joe, we need to stop. Okay, things will change. We did mention that in the end of episode 7. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link will be
Mm,
up there too, and that's the timestamp for the last. That's the last part. If you follow the timestamp, things we would change
mm,
from episode 7.
mm.
Was it episode 7, Christian? Yes, episode 7. Correct. All right. We got to stop. We get it. We get it. Yeah. The old man comes in. Go ahead, dude. The old man comes in, and then there's a bargain, of course. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Work for me, and I'll lend you a horse.
yeah, and like a little bit before that, he has a very Mr. Miyagi approach. Have you ever seen Karate Kid?
That is true. Yes, he does.
Yeah,
He does.
he just doesn't immediately tell them how they're gonna earn the horse. He just tells them to start doing chores.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
eventually he's like he overhears Einar complaining to Thorfinn, like, hey dude, I think we're getting used.
That's using us. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Sverkel, he overhears it and he says, I don't care what your circumstances are, I don't care whose slaves you are, just do chores for me whenever you come to pick up the horse, whenever you drop it off, and then that's how you're gonna pay me back going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been getting very lucky, man. Like, these
That's
are some
true.
very kind
That's
people
true.
that they're well.
That's true. He's a kind old man. He admires people, hard workers. I think that's why he's able to bond with these slaves, because
Mm,
slaves do work. We can see that he doesn't like people that are lazy. Like, he believed that a man should work,
mm,
and yeah, I think that's what drew those two guys to him. Also, he has work to be done. There was hella rocks to be picked up. There was hella woods to be chopped. So homeboy was actually in need, bro.
and I think that's
Homeboy
why.
needed hiring.
Yeah, and I think that's why he has so much land. But they talk about that later, so I'll bring that up when
Hmm.
they touch on that. But
So yeah, they keep getting things done. The swap keep working out. They keep getting the
yes,
horse, take out trees, work for this man, get the horse. It's great.
hmm
Um, what is it? Yeah. And then on one of the nights they're walking back. There was a bunch of walk backs and back and forth. He's like, yeah, we'll plant in the fall, and Einar's like, Thorkin's like, Thorfin's like, why? Why would we plant in the fall? And Einar's like, bro, nobody like you don't know anything about farming. He's like, well, I'm from Iceland, no one there farmed, and I was raised in the battlefield, blah blah blah. And the guys, the retainers, came in, and that's when we get a background of how important Homeboy is. We didn't even know his stature until that conversation. Like, where'd you get this horse? Some old man, some old bald man, old bald man. Sverkel, who the fool's Sverkel? Wait, are you talking about Ketil's father, the old master, the most important man on this farm? It's
hmm
like, which shows how those good genes have been passed on from father to son. Like how he talked to slaves. There was no condescendence in their interaction. He was just a grumpy old man that, sure, that made a fair bargain with slaves. Like, dude, my sons own y'all. Like, I don't have to give y'all a fucking horse. Do this shit for me right now. There needs to be no bargain. But the same way the son is also, how would you like to help me on my farm? As in, they own slaves, but those are the best kind of masters a slave would want to have, is
yeah,
what I'll say.
yeah. Those who are very, very kind masters for
Right.
sure. Yeah,
Like crazy kind, man. Like bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's willing to
Oh,
lend them expensive farming equipment too, because Einar
yes. Anor
was.
emphasize on that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was saying in his old village, multiple families had to borrow one, but
8. Mm-hmm.
was 8 families that they were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 8 families
Yeah.
had to borrow one, and then this guy bought 10 of them, and he's letting slaves use it as well. So it's not like he's just reserving it for people of higher class
Yeah.
or whatever. So
Mm-hmm. See how he's able to estimate his wealth? Well, not monetarily, but just like this guy's very wealthy based on
yeah,
the number of these plows that he saw. Like, oh, them shit are expensive.
hmm,
And Thorfinn's observation, that was nicely too. Like he said, someone unfamiliar with how difficult farming is could not have invented such a tool.
hmm,
Like, He's like, "Oh, you're like an overgrown baby when it comes to farming, because all these things are new to you. Like, it's your first
And
time. Like, bitch, I've been doing this since day one."
he really is an overgrown baby. Like he's still a kid
Yeah,
mentally. In many ways, he's still a kid. He hasn't had a really proper development that a child should have because he grew up on the battlefield with Oscalot.
that is true. That is actually true. Very true, Christian. Yeah, that
Yeah.
take us to Cat Hill and Gramps' conversation. Of course, carrying son, bro, dad, you're not supposed to be doing this. You're old. Like, you need to be taken care of. And
Mm.
was like, my wish is to die on this farm. Like, bro, you're not fit for manual labor. He said, I'm managing just fine. And the dad said, hey, well, you're lucky when you collapsed the other day, Snake was around. So
Snake.
does that mean the only reason we saw Snake wake up at his place and was because he caught him, he collapsed and brought him back to his house? Because like if you remember, Snake was sleeping on a chair. You don't really sleep on a chair when you're not home. I don't know. That's what I thought at the moment until later. But
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. You mean later on in the episode, right?
yeah, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I found it interesting that the master, not the old master, but the old master's son, who's also a master, he referred to Thorfinn and Einar as slaves. Like these are my slaves.
Before,
It was
yes,
a it was mm, I'm curious to know like if he considers like I'm curious to know how much he sympathizes with slaves, right? Like does he see them as regular people who are unfortunate in life, or does he see them as slaves that he wants to? I'm not explaining that well. Like, because he could have easily said these are my people, right? But he chose to use the words slaves specifically. So I
yeah.
wonder why he's somebody who's so sympathetic towards slaves, and if it's just that he sees them as regular people that he's trying to help, or if he sees them as slaves that he's trying to help. Does that make sense? How I'm trying to
Um,
rationalize this is thinking,
yeah.
because that was
The thing is,
intentional.
I went in a whole perpendicular way, but yeah, but I understand. I understand what you mean. It's funny. I took this in a whole different way,
How'd you
but yeah,
take it?
I see. I see from your point. It was kind of contradictorial. What's the adjective for this? What is it? Contradictory.
Contradictory.
Again, EOFL. Oh shoot! I'm like, what did you do? Yes, I'm not Christian. I'm not going to define that. First, I'm going to learn that because I think I just butchered the acronym.
Mm,
And then if we make it to some level of fame, someone that can go back and watch, and they'll be like, okay, that's when Christian came up with that. But yeah, yeah,
you're just
yeah.
gonna get it tattooed on your body.
I'm just gonna get a tattoo on my body. Yeah. Before he said, "What are you boys doing here, boys?" And he said, "Hey, Dad, stop. These are my slaves. Stop
Right.
using them."
That's what I'm. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like he used the word slaves in front of somebody else.
Hmm.
Mm.
I think that was solely to accentuate, like, Dad, stop working and making these guys work. Like, these guys are mine. Like, don't overuse my workers. Come home. I feel like this was more in line with, like, come home. You're not fit to do manual labor by yourself because you're taking my slave and doing manual labor with them, which is giving you a sense of independence when I need you to understand that you're not fit to do this at all. So therefore, stop using them.
Mm.
That's because his whole point to come to his dad's house is to drill in his dad's head that, hey, you're too old for this shit. You almost died. Come back. You need to be taken care of. So
Mm.
you obviously have enforcers. You have my slaves that you get to work as you're working with them too, which are reinforcing the mindset of let me keep working to in your head. So stop using them. I need you to snap back and come back and live with me. That's what I thought. But yeah, boys and slave. I love that it was just two completely different things. Like, hey, what are you boys doing here? Dad, stop using my slaves. I was like, oof, I love
Yes.
that.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Crazy shit.
And
But
then
yeah, it's and then Snake's there too, bro. Dude,
snake,
the agility. The way homeboy just bounced up from feeling that someone's staring at him in his sleep.
and he's reading again. He's reading
Yes. Oh, listen,
again.
man. What did I say last time? I need to put that in the YouTube short. I'll find that. When you're reading, it shows that you're looking for knowledge, which means you've assimilated enough knowledge, which means your knowledge. Bro, I literally just said that shit verbatim.
This
That's
guy.
literally what I said.
This guy.
Patent that. This is a pure thing. I didn't read this anywhere, by the way. This was off the dome. This was a freestyle. This was an acapella.
What is going on here?
It's a hard life, Christian. But yeah, Snake gets up, you know, I was like, and of course, like we mentioned, the dad values hard working. He's like, bro, you only sleep here. Like, that's all you do. Homeboy's like, I work at night. You know, this farm's safe because we patrol at night. That's when thieves come.
Mm.
And he keeps the jabs back and forth is dope. Oh, work at night, huh? So to sneak into these young women's homes, like, well, we guard them so they don't get stolen,
You would come
which
back
is a
for
good point, which
everything.
is true. Yeah, uh, that's true. Snake tells him, "Hey, you know, y'all can come eat," and Gramps like, What do you mean you're not? It's not your house." But then he seconds that, like, "Hey, you boys, come sit down."
What?
As in, he wouldn't be in control because it's his house.
Well, I feel like the Gramps reaction was because uh, Snake said the food wasn't fancy. And not that the
Hmm.
Gramps wanted to be the one to say like you slaves can eat. He was just like offended that you're calling my food shit. That's I think
Oh,
that's what he how that went down.
so that's funny because I saw that as you didn't cook this. Like, how dare you invite people to come eat this? I'm talking about how lazy you are as a person. You just watched me cook this. Well, you didn't watch me. You woke up because you smell the food, and now you're inviting people to come eat. That's literally how I took it. Because he's already drilling on his laziness. Like, you're freaking worthless. You're not doing shit. And now you're out here getting people to participate in a meal that I cooked that you're not even worthy of eating in the first place. That's how I took it. But yeah, if that's the way too, I mean, that's he did critique his food.
Because
Um,
the old guy did say if you worked today, then you've earned the right to eat too.
yeah,
So
that's true. That's true. Again, another jab because homeboy have not eaten, homeboy have
yeah,
not worked because he
yeah,
work at night.
yeah. And
um,
also this is big. One more thing is big because Einar he said earlier that he hasn't, or Thorfinn said he hasn't had a square meal in all the years that
mm-hmm,
they've been there. So this could be the first time that
bro.
he's getting like a proper meal to eat
Mm-hmm.
from somebody.
Which then again takes us to The Last of Us episode. First, Chris, and I'm freezing. When did Ellie make it to Jackson? We haven't had a meal in a long day. What episode
Mm,
is that?
that's
It's not
probably
7, 6, 6. That's episode 6. That's episode 6.
yeah, yeah. Episode
That's
six.
episode 6. Again, there will be a link if you're watching this on YouTube, so you can go freaking see our episode 6 discussion for The Last of Us.
That's a lot of links.
Oh yeah, imagine at this point nobody can ever make it to the end of our episodes just because they see the link, all right, they click it, and and it takes them. It's just,
And then they hear the first like
oh my
5 minutes
god,
and they're like, ah, fuck this. I'm done.
fuck this.
No
I'm
more.
done here. No more. These guys can pay me to listen to this.
All these tangents. What the fuck?
Right. Stay on topic. Stay on topic. Um, yeah, Einar asked, what gets stolen? He's like, well, pigs, unharvested wheats, just hella shit that people steal here.
The same
And
thing that we
Gramps
would
with
pay.
another dab, bro. It's like would lose the thieves equal to what we pay you.
That was crazy.
And he gets in the nitty gritty. We don't need y'all. We're Nordic men, bro. We know how to use our swords. We know how to use our spears. Like, we don't need y'all on this farm. Like, we got this. We can do this on ourselves. This dude breaks down. Like, I love when a character that he's not dumb, that looks so chill, is can drop some facts. We know
Mhm.
this. The dude reads. The dude is quiet. The dude is skilled. The dude is a leader. Men follow him. So he has all the traits of someone that is smart. He breaks down the fact of Gramps. Like, you're talking about your fighters and shit like that. Listen, old man, sit down. Be humble. I have 13 men, bro. 13 men. That's not enough for this big farm. This farm could easily be taken over with 50 or 60 men.
Right, Thorfinn?
Right.
Yeah, he asked Thorfinn. He's like, he sees something in Thorfinn. He knows this dude. He probably, at some point in his life, were part of those 50, 60 men.
Right. That is actually true. That is very
Hmm.
true.
And
Uh
I think the reason, I mean, I alluded to this earlier. I think the reason that the masters have so much land is because um, they're on some kind of crusade to help slaves, right? Because
Hmm.
I assume that he's giving slaves certain parts of this massive land so that once they work it enough, they can sell the profits to Kettle and then buy their freedom. I because why else would
Um.
someone need that much land? Land's so big, and you only hire like 13 bodyguards for it. I don't know. It's
Hmm.
so much, and also he because they I forget. I think they're gonna mention it soon after where you were, but how he pays like a massive tribute to the king. So
Yeah, that's what I was
even
gonna say.
yeah, so even more of his wealth is being splurged for protection.
Yeah.
So why else would he need such a big farm if he's just gonna buy back what's pretty much his own property from slaves? I feel like that must be his
Right.
overall mission that he's after, just helping slaves free themselves.
I don't think so.
Really? What do you think?
Yeah. Helping slave free himself. These guys are actually never free. Um. Look
Patter
at
is free
Pater, for example. Pat, is he? You think Pater can go anywhere? Why hasn't he
yeah,
gone anywhere if he can?
because he probably I mean I would assume like reciprocity. He's so grateful to this guy that he'll even work for him as a free man. That's what I
Right.
interpret it as.
Because also they're far from their homes. Christian, when you've been a slave for so many years, that's all you've known. Regardless whether you earn your and is like I mentioned this already, not mentioned I already said this, is Pater really free? I mean they don't dive deep into him, Christian. He's just a prototype. Like, hey, Pater here worked for me and got his freedom. But Pater's still shackled to this man. Again, this is not a dark like we've not seen yet that this man's a terrible person, but it's like, can you really gain your freedom? This is subjective, bro. To use Pater might be free. I see Pater, I'm like someone that just you still work for the man, and it might not even be voluntary. It just might be because years of your life has been robbed. Your family's probably killed. There's nowhere else to go. Like you wouldn't be able to go anywhere, and you don't have enough to survive on your own. You never will. It's like modern day slavery, the modern day corporate world for the middle classers. Like, like you're not shackled yet. You have bills that like surmount to something that's equivalent to your paycheck. So therefore, you're going back and going back and going back, but you're not really free. You got that college tuition, you got that mortgage, you got that rent. All right. I'm digressing. All right. Stop here. Stop.
But I
But
think
yeah,
what's also important though is that the option, just having the option, is the difference between being free and being not free. Like, and
that's the thing, right?
not only just having the option, but also like the yeah, he still has a negative perception from a lot of people. But if you remember what I forget his name, it wasn't Badger. Was it Fox? I think it was Fox, right? The guy from episode 2 or 3 who
Mm-hmm.
sliced Thorfinn's ear. He he said that there are people on this farm that you're allowed to kill, right?
I understand.
Like even though Patter is no longer a slave, I don't think even in Fox's eyes that he would say
Yeah,
that you're allowed to kill Patter. And that's
I understand.
like one example that can manifest in different forms, different shapes. But
It's true.
yeah, I think like Patter is definitely still going to be discriminated against for his status that he had at one point.
Yeah.
But he's
Mm-hmm.
still freer and still has more agency than people like Thorfinn and Einar. So, um,
Okay.
yeah, I kind of forget
There's
the point we were talking about.
honestly, dude, we branch off like selling leaves. Branch selling leave. This is Avlino versus Dave versus Avlino featuring Dave. What is the name of this song? I'm big into UK rap. Avlino featuring Dave. Christian, you would love this song actually. You're not that black. Cassius Clay. So black centric.
what, what does that even mean?
Cassius Clay. Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali's name. Like Cassius Clay before he changed his name.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, we say we branched out from selling leaves because we branched out from selling drugs. Now we're legitimate millionaires. Like it's not some drug dealing shit, but branched out from selling leaves, branched leaves. Dave said that.
Got you,
Oh,
got you.
yeah. And in that same song, Avlino said, "Have you feeling out of place in your home address? have you feeling out of place in your home address. Just like, bro, just all right, Christian, you wouldn't understand. It's fine. Listen, the UK rappers, bro, Dave, Little Sims, bro, I binge on these artists, like binged albums. Christian, we might have to do. All right. Let me stop. Let me stop. All right, because I'm very black centric, and these three, Avlino, Dave, bro,
Mm-hmm.
bro, Christian. Last thing, and I'm done.
Okay.
Avlino said, and the Daily Duppy,
Daily
Christian,
Duffy. What kind of name
Daily
is that?
Duppy. My boy said, Christian, my boy said, I turned into a star, as in I'm now a star. Like I'm known, I'm famous. So my dad is over the moon. My dad is proud of me, over the moon. So like father, like son, there's no one eclipsing us. Christian, I turn into a star, star. My dad is over the moon, moon. So like father, like son, son. There's no one eclipsing us, eclipse.
Damn.
Just
Oh shit. All right, I kind of. All right,
oh,
all right.
oh.
I'll admit I might have got a chill or two. I'll admit
Christian, that astronomy,
that was dope.
freaking.
The sun one, that one caught me off guard. I was like, I knew we were going with this, but I didn't. The sun thing caught me off guard. That was sick.
Christian,
That was dope.
I turned into a star. So my father's over the moon because my father's happy that I made it in a game as a star. So like father, like son, there's no one eclipsing us.
That's pretty sick.
All right. Let's get back, bro. Let's get back. I can't do this, man. Okay, great. And of course, the dad mentioned, my son is paying King Harold. Now, who's King Harold, bro? Is that Canute's brother?
Hmm. Yeah, I think it is right. I think it is.
I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, because of that, that's why the farm doesn't get attacked. So he's like, we don't need you guys. Like, thieves don't come here because my son is sending freaking like so much. My son is sending so much to this guy twice a year as protection. But
Yeah.
although he's like, we don't need you for that, he still says, I still think buying peace is foolishness. And then he gets into the wisdom for a man his age. Increasing your wealth makes you fear losing it. You just keep spending money to assuage your fear. Bro, which is similar to what Askeladd told the guy. This man is a slave to the whip, which the girl is a slave to. I can't remember. What
Nice
did he say?
connection.
Look at this man. Look at this man who is whipping this girl who stole from him, and he's a slave to the. Like, what did Askeladd say in season one? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember the full thing. He said something along the lines of, "Look at him. He's whipping a girl he bought with the money that he doesn't even realize he's a slave to. Like he's a slave to the money that he's
Mm-hmm.
using, that he used to buy the girl who's a slave to him, and he thinks
Yeah,
he has some higher ground
control.
over the idea of slavery, but
Yeah,
he doesn't. Something like
like
that.
he's a slave too. Yeah. Or King Sweeney, or slave to the crown, bro. Just the slavery theme for this season.
The show. I remember the season.
Oh, the show, bro. The show.
Thorfinn's a slave to
So yeah,
revenge, and now he's
yeah.
an actual
Thorfinn's a
slave.
slave to revenge. Ooh. All right, that's a short. That's a YouTube short right there.
Thorkel's a slave to being a warrior, maybe.
Christian, keep going. That's a
No,
short. No,
that's
it
all I
can only be 1 minute. The short can only be 1 minute.
got.
uh, all right, crazy shit. But yeah, and then they walk back, and Thorfinn's like, "Dude, I learned a lot today." And he's like, "Oh, you're overgrown baby." He's like, "Don't call me that." I'm like, whoa. He said, "Daddy, chill."
This quote.
Shit, we gotta wrap this shit up. Yeah, and then of course you see them on the land. That the shit is crazy. They've transformed this shit. Notice they got beards. It's been a
Oh
minute.
my god, they
They
look
got full
so
beards.
cool. Oh, I love it.
You look so
I
cool.
love it, man.
I love it.
Jesus Christ.
Christian, we know you do. We know you do. He looks dope.
He
He looks
looks
great.
so fucking cool.
Yes, before you get into him looking so cool and that's so great, he's spreading two little seeds, and homeboy said, Einar said, "Whoa, you're doing this, like you can do more, and trust me as your friend, you can spread more seeds."
mm.
That sounds so weird, but he's talking about, we all know what I'm talking about. They're on the land. They're on a farm. It just says, and homeboy say friend, and Einar's like, what the fuck? What, are you serious?
Why would you question that?
What?
Why would you question it?
Why would you question that? Are we not? Whoa, it's a loud motorcycle. So, are we not? He's like, no, we are friends, bro.
And then he spreads more seeds.
Okay, Christian, stop. There are kids listening. Yeah. No, the episode was beautiful. Like all episodes. I'm looking forward to episode 7. What more do you have to say, Christian? What more do you have to say? Send us away, Christian.
Last thing. All right. Last thing I'll say. This episode, it showcases one of the things that I love about Vinland Saga, which is that it is a story that takes its time. Like, it doesn't rush things for the sake of shock value, like so many shows, so many modern shows do. It's just they don't rush. And they did the same thing in season 1. Like, it wasn't until episode 5 or 6 when things started to really pick up. And I love that. Like, the directors, they aren't afraid to skillfully take their time and not be pressured by a need to have something crazy happen every episode, just because modern day people, their attention spans are very low. But it's like they understand the value in build-up. And that build-up is a part of what made the story in season 1 hit so hard. And since we've all seen season 1, so we all know how rich this story is. We all know how deep this story goes. And it's why that it's okay as a viewer to it's okay for us to just trust the vision of the author, trust the vision of the directors, and to completely allow ourselves to just experience this world without having to have your guard up like all the time for like plot holes or bad writing or poor pacing, because you know that the show is being orchestrated by very masterful, very delicate, very intentional hands. And this is a way that I personally gauge whether or not a story can be one of my favorites of all times, is if I can just completely entrust myself to the storytelling process of the creator and the directors. So Vinland Saga, it takes its time, and it has a story to tell, and it's telling it, and I respect the hell out of it for that. I love the show.
This is true. No, this is true. You know what? Well said, Christian. Well said. I couldn't agree more. It is a beautiful masterpiece, and I'm here for it.
Yep.
Dude, I'm here for it.
And that is the end of episode 6.
All right, folks. I will see you when I see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Arigato. Arigato gozaimasu.
Oh.
No, that's just thank you. That's just thank you, right?
Yeah.
That's just thank you.
That's thank you.
Okay. Shit.
Just fitting.
So let's edit that. Christian, take that out. I don't want them to embarrass me.
No, it's fitting. Thank you for listening. Arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Good. All right, dude. I gotta go. We gotta get out of here.
All right.
All right, dude. Bye.
Bye.